This is what we are. We are.
You made it. Thank you.
Glad to be here. Thanks.
So I'm Gareth Seltzer from RYOT, and Andre, I'm impressed that you took the time to go all the way to Toronto to find someone with gray hair for this room. Big shout out for people with gray hair. No, yeah, that's what I expected. I am the old guy, actually, even in our group, but anyway, thank you very much. It's a pretty amazing group, and I'm pretty pleased to be here. I thought I'd start off by at least explaining sort of the narrative of how I look at our internet business, because it frames the context of RYOT to some extent, which I believe in for eyeballs, for people watching, in acquisition, engagement, and then monetization. So finding people to come, figuring out a way to attract them and to engage them so that you don't just rent them, that you own them, and then the monetizing part. But since we're a startup, we won't worry about monetizing. Everything just costs money, actually, as a startup. But for sure, just getting people hooked in is important. So I thought I'd describe a little bit about what RYOT is, and then just the very fast journey to finding ourselves where we are, which has a lot to do with virtual reality. And I know when I talk to people about VR, lots of people aren't quite sure what it is, and lots of people do understand it, but I don't think any of us really know the sheer scope of it. And for absolute certainty, it doesn't just involve Oculus or headsets that are similar, or in fact, even your own smartphone, which you can actually watch in 360 video as well, just by moving things around. There's no question that as an entertainment value, they're spectacular. You know, one of the things we do, we work with Bono and Red and One and the Global Festival, and we film concerts. And so we'll be on stage at the Global Festival concert in New York. And you know, when you have a virtual reality headset on, and you look, and Jay-Z is standing here singing with a virtual reality headset, you turn your head, Jay-Z is there singing. It's like, it's a pretty amazing experience. But at the same time, one of the things that has been the most salient for us, that has had the most traction, is after the tragedy in Belgium, at the Remembrance. If you had a virtual reality 360 smartphone with you, you could have stood in the middle of the people who are remembering and being there with the people on your right and your left, experiencing that very emotional moment, no matter where you are on the planet. So that's just to say that there's an infinite number of possibilities for it. RYOT also does things like lots of documentaries. I'd say we become very strong in content creation. We also work for brands. I'm not sure that that's the biggest part of where we want to be, but Pepsi, and we do lots of news work with Huffington Post and the New York Times, a lot of it in VR. So that's kind of where we are. And it's kind of come on a funny journey. The journey started in Haiti. 4 years ago, we went down right after the earthquake. It's an intersection of emotional, political, and natural disasters. It's a grim place to be. And we met two incredible peace workers, Bryn Muser and David Darg, who were working hard there to save kids, make sure that they went from their house to school without getting shot in the middle. And all the other tragedies. And I want to figure out, how are we able to tell people this story with impact? How can we tell any of these stories with some impact? And they decided, you know what, let's start a company. And there was 4 of us, and we left Haiti, and I think we had one more trip, and then we started the company and decided that it was time to add the one thing that would give these things traction, which was empathy. Now, empathy is a funny little thing. It's like a doctor discovering a genome. It's like it seems like if you work at it, you can discover it and you can use it, but it's Malcolm Gladwell's trick, I think. It's, you know how David Darg found this? 10,000 hours of work, 10,000 hours of struggling with it. Because empathy is this concept which allows you to feel and experience what someone else is experiencing from their point of reference. It's just hard. It's really elusive. And I think we've managed to do it, particularly in our documentaries. So our films started in Haiti, doing these docs. Sun City Picture House, which was about rebuilding a theater because there was no place to see a movie in Port-au-Prince. We did Baseball in the Time of Cholera, which is about the cholera epidemic. After Hurricane Sandy in New Jersey, we did Rider in the Storm. And then all of them sort of had a life in the internet, and it gave us even more eyeballs, engagement. Then we had Body Team 12, which I think showed the world that we really knew how to package empathy. We really knew how to deliver it. This was an amazing experience. We won lots of festivals, but we also just came back from Los Angeles because this was nominated for an Academy Award. So it gave us also more attention. And while that was happening, our VR was taking off. So that's a little bit about where RYOT is. We have 2 billion media impressions on our VR last year. And if Facebook is any analytical measure for anybody, we have 40 million visitors to our page a month. And I think it's because we understand empathy and we understand storytelling. One of the things, though, that I think is absolutely amazing is the VR. But to some extent, I would say this is where, a lot of people would say, particularly if they do TED Talks, would say, I want to throw out a concept. I'll throw out a concept. It will be followed by a pause, and then it'll be followed by a request. And this is normally how I see it go. It's, imagine there was no gravity. Pause. Think about it. And that's sort of a typical TED Talk kind of comment. I'm going I don't want to be told to think about stuff like that. It's like navigating in the old web where, you would find a home page. It would have a concept. It would be any kind of home page. You would navigate down to the topic you liked. From that, there would be subtopics. You would navigate into that, and you go down farther. If you were in the wrong place, you would go back up and across. And my concept really is fuck navigation. I want to be at the place immediately. I want to feel like I am there as soon as possible. I want the journey to be part of the experience. And that is VR. So we used GoPros on sticks, and that's how we did a ton of our virtual reality filming around the world. We sent iPhone 6s around the world to get citizen journalism as well. We just threw everything out we could, and it's just been incredible how many people have reacted, but there's nothing that has had the compelling and extraordinary traction of virtual reality filming. So this is a little bit about some of our virtual reality films. And this program, which we did called Welcome to Aleppo, was the first film ever filmed in VR in a war zone. It was extraordinary and an act of incredible bravery. This, by the way, is filmed by our team. Body Team 12 was David Darg, our partner. The New York Times, the Washington Post, everybody went mad for this because it immersed people in something that otherwise is so one-dimensional, so hard to understand, so hard to comprehend. By the end of December last year, I think we had 700 million media impressions from this one short. Just to give you an idea, when I say, there's more to it than this, it's not just entertainment, this is just living proof that it's real, it's there, and it's well worth discovering and delving into and seeing what you can do with it. Meet Albina is just an example of what we did for brands. This was Pepsi's entry at South by Southwest, and they wanted to show the story of Albina, who was collecting recyclables all around Peru and making money out of a business of collecting them and recycling them and selling them to recyclers. It was kind of extraordinary, but what I also told you is that there's a lot of brand interest in this. This is not just an academic intellectual exercise, that in fact I think there's a lot of life to this whole genre of VR well beyond just the people who are artisans of film and internet and digital. This is just about how we use the brand experience at RYOT for Pepsi, but one of our other installations, which was amazing, we worked a lot with nonprofits, because one of the things in a very, very tired, difficult environment is how do you relive galas. How do you give people experiences when that space is really crowded? And so we did an installation in Washington where, for Pencils of Promise, Adam Braun's amazing program for putting pencils and school books in the hands of kids around the world. And we had a desk in a room, and we had people sit on the desk, and we put these on, and people really felt like they were in Ghana in the classroom. Raised $3 million in one night. So it's amazing that feeling that people can get. So I feel like I should have a percentage of VR, here, because I'm so excited about it. But I think it's because it's just on the edge of possibilities. What it's meant for RYOT is, we were a news organization at the beginning. We wanted to make change. It came out of Haiti. We wanted to do news stories. You could click through them, and you could make a difference. In fact, that is one of our verticals still in the media world for RYOT. Click on any news story, you can change the world. But what we're really finding is that this is the deepest, most robust part of our practice, and there's just no question that it's going to be a huge part of our future. We have had to focus on the things that work. So part of my message to you is there's so many great ideas, but if something doesn't have traction, don't beat it. We've tried everything. You know how we've done it? 10,000 hours, Malcolm Gladwell's. Everything that we've tried, we've put 10,000 hours into. If it hasn't worked, we've had to stop it and go on to other things. VR, not 10,000 hours, it's way ahead of anything we could have ever imagined. And so use that as, a clue to how amazing it could be. The last thing I guess I want to say, and I know that this afternoon particularly, I was just so impressed for the speakers from the Tate and from Victoria and Albert. But I want to say, when you're looking at your own discovery of what can be powerful, I would just say this was our experience. Our experience was 4 guys just saying, what can we do? And I would say to all of you, we are a product of who we hang with. Hang with good people, chances are you'll have a good life. I mean, we hope that for everybody. But what I looked at RYOT was, I'm not going to worry about that. What I really want is a great life. I want the 10% that people aren't getting. I want more than that. So I don't want to just hang around with good people. I want to hang around with people that see the greatness in me. That's how you get that little extra bit. And I think that's true when you're sitting around trying to figure out imaginative ways in an environment, a very collaborative environment like this one, about how you can push boundaries, how you can do things better. Well, hang around with people who want you to succeed at it. That was how RYOT went in 4 years from 4 people in the back of a pickup to the company we are now. Now, we just need the monetization, but that I hope for. Thank you very, very much for your time.